Warning: this is not for the faint of heart. The red carpet has never been just about fashion. It's a battlefield where rules are shattered, limits are tested, and scandalous moments become legend. From accidental see-through shocks to deliberate, barely there masterpieces, these outfits didn't just turn heads. They broke the internet, redefined sex appeal, and made censors sweat. Get ready for the most jaw-dropping, skin-bearing, boundary-pushing moments in red carpet history. Because once you see them, you'll never look at awards shows the same way again. The longer you watch, the more your jaw will drop. The modern era of see-through red carpet fashion began unexpectedly at the 1969 Academy Awards when Barbra Streisand's outfit became sheer under the stage lights. That night, Streisand, who won Best Actress for Funny Girl, wore a black sequined pantsuit by Arnold Scassi, a seemingly modest choice with a white collar and cuffs. But when she stepped on stage, the bright lights rendered the fabric transparent, revealing far more than intended. If Streisand stumbled into the see-through trend, Cher embraced it with open arms. Throughout the 1970s, she worked closely with designer Bob Mackie, creating some of the most daring red carpet looks of all time. At the 1973 Academy Awards, she arrived in a dazzling midriff-bearing, jewel-encrusted two-piece gown, defying Hollywood's traditional dress codes. The outfit, which exposed her stomach and much of her back, caused such a stir that the Academy reportedly issued stricter dress guidelines afterward. But it was Cher's 1974 Met Gala look that truly set the standard for the modern barely there dress. Wearing a sheer, feathered, crystal-encrusted Mackie gown, Cher appeared practically nude, save for strategically placed embellishments. The look was so iconic that it landed her on the covers of Time and Vogue, and decades later, stars like Kim Kardashian would cite it as direct inspiration. Cher proved that see-through dresses weren't just shocking. They could be glamorous, artistic, and powerful. While some critics dismissed her style as theatrical, Cher's confidence made her an undisputed fashion icon, paving the way for the bold looks that would follow. By the 1980s, red carpet fashion had largely remained glamorous but traditional, with Hollywood favoring opulent gowns and structured silhouettes. However, one star refused to conform: Cher. Already known for her daring, theatrical style, she used fashion to make bold statements, none more famous than her 1986 Academy Awards look. A sheer, body-hugging Bob Mackie creation that became one of the most infamous Oscar outfits of all time. That year, Cher had been snubbed for a Best Actress nomination for her role in Mask, a critically acclaimed performance that many felt deserved recognition. Frustrated with the Academy's cold shoulder, she arrived on the red carpet in what could only be described as a showgirl meets goddess ensemble. A black, beaded, barely there gown with a plunging neckline, thigh-high slit, and a towering feathered mohawk headdress. The look was pure spectacle, a deliberate act of defiance against the Academy's rigid traditions. Meanwhile, in the world of music, artists were beginning to push the limits of red carpet fashion in ways that Hollywood still hesitated to. Music awards shows, particularly the MTV Video Music Awards, which launched in 1984, quickly became a space where artists could take risks that would have been unthinkable at the Oscars or Golden Globes. Madonna, who had built a career on rebellion and reinvention, played a major role in shaping this new aesthetic. At the 1984 MTV VMAs, she performed like a virgin in a lace corset, garter belt, and sheer tulle skirt, writhing on the stage floor in a way that sent shockwaves through the industry. Though this wasn't a red carpet moment, it set the tone for the VMAs as a place where fashion could be provocative, sexual, and controversial. By the end of the decade, it was clear. Hollywood's award shows were still clinging to tradition, but the music industry had embraced risk-taking fashion. The Oscars might have had Cher, but the VMAs were about to become ground zero for the naked dress revolution that would define the 1990s. By the 1990s, red carpet fashion was no longer just about elegance. It was about making a statement. While Hollywood's most prestigious awards shows, like the Oscars and Golden Globes, remained relatively conservative, the rise of the MTV Video Music Awards and other music industry events provided a new platform where artists could break the rules. These events, with their younger, edgier audiences, became a testing ground for the most daring and provocative red carpet choices. And no trend symbolized that shift more than the rise of sheer, barely there outfits. No red carpet outfit from this era is more infamous than Rose McGowan's 1998 VMAs dress. Arriving with her then-boyfriend Marilyn Manson, McGowan wore a chainmail-inspired dress made entirely of sheer black mesh and glittering beads, with nothing but a tiny black thong underneath. The dress was essentially a few strands of fabric draped over her body, leaving her completely exposed from the back and barely covered in the front. The reaction was immediate and explosive. Even by the VMAs' Anything Goes standards, McGowan's look stunned the audience. Cameras zoomed in on the nearly unclothed actress, and media outlets scrambled to cover the controversy. Some saw it as a desperate grab for attention, while others hailed it as an act of bold defiance. Years later, McGowan revealed that the outfit was a deliberate statement.
I was still so young in my career at that point. I hadn't really articulated all the feelings and things that associated with it. But more importantly, it was my first big public appearance after being sexually assaulted.
She had recently been a victim of sexual assault by a powerful Hollywood figure and wanted to reclaim control of her body. Just 1 year later, Lil' Kim ensured that the VMAs remained the epicenter of shocking red carpet fashion. The rapper arrived at the 1999 Video Music Awards in a one-sleeved lavender jumpsuit, but it wasn't the color that had people talking. It was the fact that one of her breasts was completely exposed, with only a matching pasty covering her nipple. If the outfit itself wasn't already iconic, the moment that followed cemented its place in pop culture history. When Lil' Kim took the stage to present an award alongside Diana Ross and Mary J. Blige, Ross, seemingly unable to resist, playfully jiggled Lil' Kim's exposed breast. The audience erupted in laughter, and the moment became an instant classic, replayed on TV for years. Unlike McGowan's act of defiance, Lil' Kim's outfit was pure, playful confidence. Designed by her stylist, Misa Hilton, the look was a perfect representation of the rapper's unapologetic, trailblazing persona. At a time when female rappers were still breaking into the mainstream, Lil' Kim's bold fashion choices were a declaration of power, ownership, and self-expression. The late 90s firmly established the MTV Video Music Awards as the most daring red carpet in entertainment. While traditional award shows still expected elegance and restraint, the VMAs became a place where celebrities pushed the limits of fashion and taste. What Rose McGowan and Lil' Kim did at the VMAs would have been unthinkable at the Oscars or Emmys, but on the MTV stage, they were defining moments. These outfits set a precedent. Moving forward, stars knew that red carpet fashion wasn't just about looking glamorous, it was about making headlines. As the 1990s came to a close, the idea of the barely there dress was officially part of pop culture. In 1998, the term itself was popularized by an episode of Sex and the City, in which Carrie Bradshaw wears a tiny nude-colored slip dress on a date. The character calls it her naked dress, reinforcing the idea that showing skin was no longer a red carpet anomaly. It was a legitimate fashion trend. Additionally, supermodels like Kate Moss helped make sheer fashion a staple of the decade. In 1993, Moss attended an event in London wearing a completely sheer slip dress, braless and unaware of how transparent it was under camera flashes. Instead of shying away from the controversy, she embraced the moment, and the look became one of her most iconic fashion statements. By the end of the decade, see-through, barely there fashion had fully entered the mainstream, setting the stage for the 2000s, when one dress would take the trend to an entirely new level. The new millennium marked a turning point. Naked dresses were no longer just shocking. They were going viral. No moment exemplified this more than Jennifer Lopez's 2000 Grammy Awards dress. Designed by Versace, the plunging green silk gown featured a neckline that dipped past her navel, held together by mere inches of double-sided tape. The look became so wildly popular that Google image search was created specifically because of it. Too many people were searching for photos, and Google needed a way to accommodate the demand. Another notable moment came in 2001, when Toni Braxton attended the Grammys in a white gown with extreme cutouts, making it look as though she was wearing nothing underneath. The dress raised eyebrows, but Braxton later joked that it was the perfect time for such a daring look. Everything was perky. She laughed. By the end of the decade, illusion gowns with sheer panels were becoming mainstream. Red carpets were no longer just about elegance. They were about making a statement. If the 2000s flirted with barely there dresses, the 2010 fully embraced them. At the 2014 CFDA Awards, Rihanna wore what is perhaps the most famous sheer dress of all time. A custom Adam Selman gown covered in 230,000 Swarovski crystals, draped over her bare body. Sheer, sparkling, and completely transparent, the look dominated headlines and was widely considered a masterpiece of modern fashion. The following year, the 2015 Met Gala was dubbed the Met Gala of Naked Dresses, after Beyoncé, Jennifer Lopez, and Kim Kardashian all arrived in sheer, jewel-encrusted gowns. What was once shocking had become glamorous, even expected. By decade's end, nearly every major star, Kendall Jenner, Bella Hadid, and Zendaya among them, had worn at least one barely there dress. By the 2000s and 20s, sheer and illusion gowns had completely infiltrated mainstream red carpet fashion. Few moments signaled the return of full-throttle, jaw-dropping fashion after the pandemic, quite like Megan Fox's 2021 MTV Video Music Awards look. Stepping onto the red carpet in a completely sheer Mugler dress, the actress turned heads with wet-look hair and a visible silver bedazzled thong beneath the transparent gown. Social media exploded over the look, with fans calling it one of her hottest moments ever, while fashion critics noted that Fox was channeling early 2000s shock dressing with a modern edge. The outfit immediately drew comparisons to Rose McGowan's legendary 1998 VMAs dress, proving that the sheer dress trend had come full circle. What was once a niche rebellion was now full-fledged red carpet dominance. The VMAs, always a hotspot for fashion risks, saw several artists follow suit that night. Tinashe and Doja Cat both stepped out in barely there sheer ensembles, ensuring that skin was the biggest trend of the evening. The message was clear: we're back, and we're bearing it all. Once confined to music and fashion events, sheer gowns finally infiltrated the Oscars red carpet. In 2022 and 2023, stars like Zoe Kravitz and Florence Pugh wore delicate designs that made headlines not for their controversy, but for their artistry. These weren't about shock. They were about fashion-forward, body-confident elegance. Meanwhile, at the Vanity Fair Oscars after-party, the stakes were much higher. Here, celebrities were freed from the Academy's conservative dress codes, and the result was a parade of barely there fashion. The 2023 after-party saw stars like Kendall Jenner, Hunter Schafer, and Ciara take the naked dress trend to new extremes, with see-through gowns that left little, if anything, to the imagination. Ciara, in particular, dominated headlines with her fully sheer, crystal-embellished Dundas dress, worn over a tiny thong and pasties. The look divided opinion. Some hailed it as a masterpiece of confidence and empowerment, while others criticized it as too much, even by today's standards. The controversy only fueled its impact, proving once again that the line between high fashion and scandal was growing thinner by the day. Just when it seemed like we had seen it all, the 2025 Grammy Awards pushed the trend to its absolute limit. That night, Bianca Censori, the wife of Kanye Ye West, arrived in a completely transparent mesh mini dress with nothing underneath. Unlike previous naked dresses that at least featured strategic embellishments, this dress offered no illusions. It was as close to actual nudity as possible. As Censori posed for photos, stunned reporters and onlookers questioned whether she would even be allowed inside. And indeed, shortly after arriving, reports surfaced that she was asked to leave the event, marking one of the first times a sheer red carpet look had crossed the line into outright rejection. The moment sparked a firestorm of debate. Had the naked dress trend finally gone too far? Had the industry become so desensitized to these looks that stars now felt they had to be literally naked to get attention? Now we are wondering, where can these celebrities go from here? What's next in the evolution of the barely there dress? Like and subscribe to find out.